Hello everyone, today's video is about the poem If. This poem is written by Rudyard Kipling, and about the poet I have already discussed in the earlier video. So I'm going to start with the poem itself. I'm going to recite it and try to understand this poem. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies. Or being hated, don't give ways to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much. If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you will be a man, my son. This is the poem. It's a poem with 32 lines, and these lines have been divided into 4 stanzas, and each and every stanza has 8 lines, and they are actually all 2 lines are in a unit of 2 lines, and they are kind of balancing each other. And the rhyme scheme here is that is rhyming of iambic pentameter, like A, B, C, D, C, D. And so it's alternate rhyming. Let's start with the why this poem is so famous and why he wrote this poem. So Rudyard Kipling wrote this poem for his own son as a tribute to him and in the form of an advice. Actually, he wanted him to learn about the worldly things and all the attributes he should inculcate in his personality so that he can grow a man, a better man and a knowledgeable man, and can be successful and be happy in his life. And this poem he wrote in 1895, and then it was published in 1909 and 10. And this poem became very famous, and even this poem is so much famous that many a times it has been voted as the most favorite poem of the British nation. And even 2 of the lines of this poem, that if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, these lines have been printed upon the wall of Wimbledon Court as well. And most of the lines from this poem, they have been widely quoted in some or other manner. So this poem is in the form of a series of advices which he is giving to his son. And one more significant thing about this poem is that he starts this poem with if. So if is it's a conditional word. It's a conditional word, and he is starting with this word most of the time. And then the word, when he is addressing his son, he uses the word you, that is second person pronoun. So we can take a meaning out of it, like he is addressing his own son, he's giving this advice to his own son, but at the same time it can be a general advice to all the readers or to all the young people to inspire them. It's an inspiring poem. He has written it to inspire his own son, but at the same time it is quite meaningful, and the meaning here is quite universal. We all can relate to it, not just the young ones, but all, young and old. We all can get some or other kind of inspiration from it, or all the teachings he is giving to his son, they are quite meaningful as much to the younger ones as to all of us. So in the first stanza there are 8 lines, and how he starts that if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. So they all are losing their head, means you have to keep calm when everyone around you is getting angry and over anxious about certain situation. And at that time you have to learn how to keep that calm, how to keep control over the situations. Don't give way to the anger. And when people are blaming you, and people are blaming you for all the wrong which is going on, so at that time hold on, keep your coolness, keep your calm. And if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, so there might come a time when all are doubting, are in doubt about you and about your all the qualities you might have. At that time again you have to trust yourself. Again, this is one more attribute he wants in his son, that trust yourself. When men are angry about you, when they are marking on you that you are wrong and they are doubting you, but at that time if you are able to keep that cool, if you are able to keep that calm, then, and if you can wait and not be tired by waiting. So again he is talking about being patient, that you might have to wait. If you can keep waiting and not be tired, you should have that patience. Or being hated, don't give way to hating. When all around you are full of hatred for each other, they are hating you and it makes you sad, it makes you anxious. But yet again what you have to do is to keep patience. You have to keep that cool of your mind and make this self-restraint. Only then you can become a better man. So this is the meaning which comes out of the first stanza. And second stanza, if you can dream and not make dreams your master. So it is about dreaming, about self-development. We dream about many things. That's not a wrong thing, but he says, but not make dreams your master. But don't let those dreams overpower you. And if you can think and not make thoughts your aim. Be thoughtful. If you can think, if you have that mind of your own, you can think for yourself, you can take decisions for yourself and not make thoughts your aim. But all those thoughts and dreams of yours, they should not be your aim. Just not keep thinking about them, achieve them, work for them, have that self-development for yourself. So this is very important, that we should dream, but these dreams should not be overpowering us. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. Triumph and disaster, these two words are written in capital. They start with capital T and capital D. What does that mean? So he is trying to put stress on these two words. If you can meet with triumph and disaster. Triumph is victory, when you are victorious, when you are achieving everything in your life and you are happy. But at the same time there can be disaster as well. Sometimes you might fail in your life. So how to balance between these two? So what you have to do is treat those two imposters just the same. So what he calls triumph and disaster, he calls them as imposters. What are imposters? Imposters, just pretenders, that they are pretending something else and trying to deceive you. And what you have to do to maintain that balance, not be overjoyous by your triumph and not to feel very sad and get very sad about being into that disaster. Also try to make that balance and treat both these qualities with an equanimity. Try to keep a balance in between. If you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools. So being truthful is also one of the attribute he wants us to have, and all the younger ones to have in themselves. And or watch the things you gave your life to broken. And sometimes it might happen that you are so much broken, you worked so hard for some of your dreams, you have been working hard but you couldn't achieve that goal. So what he says, you have to stoop and build them up. So all those dreams of yours, start anew, build them up, stoop below. You have to lean down, kneel down, and then work again. And you have to start with your worn out tools. Means you're already weared out, you feel so tired, you feel so much discouraged, but still you have to keep courage. That courage is also one of the attribute he wants in us. Be strong, be courageous, and start working again from the starting point, from that 0 point. Next stanza, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on 1 ton of pitch and toss. So what he again wants us to do is that when we have everything, but we also need to have this quality of risking everything. There is some dream of yours and you want to achieve it, but you might have to risk everything to gain that thing. So lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. So it might happen again and again in your life that you will have to start again and again and again. But what he says, never breathe a word about your loss. This self-restraint, this patience you have to maintain in yourself. You have to become strong mentally as well. And never breathe a word, never complain about your loss, never breathe a word about it to anyone. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone. So it might be a very tiresome job that you will have to do what? Keep your heart and nerve and sinew, your heart, your emotions, your sinews, your brain, and all your efforts. You will have to get them back once again. And so hold on when there is nothing in you. So it might be a situation that you will have to hold on. Keep holding on when there is nothing, when you feel like there is nothing left in your life. Accept the will which says to them, hold on. Accept the will. This will power of yours will come to your rescue, which keeps on telling you to hold on and start working again, once again. So most of our younger generation is depressed because of the pressure, peer pressure and societal pressure, and the education they are going through. So all these pressures, they combined together, can disturb our mental nervous system. So this is very inspiring situation for us. This poem is very inspiring in the sense it keeps on telling us again and again, be mentally strong and keep working hard, but at the same time all other attributes, all the virtues, we will have to gain them. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings not lose the common touch. Then again what he is saying, that you might become quite famous, you are walking with kings or all the important people, but at the same time never forget about your roots. Never get away from that touch from the common mass. If neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, neither foes means enemies, and your friends can hurt you. So try to make that balance in your life where you are in control of all your emotions, that none can hurt you with their words or their deeds. If all men count with you, but none too much. So you don't have any enemy, you don't have any such close friend that if they do something and that is going to hurt you. That should be the balance. If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run. So here he is talking about time management. Each and every minute, every second counts, and fill it with some hard work. And because time is never going to forgive us, time has wings and it keeps on flying. We never come to know when time is gone, and all that opportunities you had, they are gone already. Yours is and then what he says at last, he is saying, if all these qualities, all these attributes you can achieve in life, if you can work hard to attain them, only then what will happen? Yours is the yours is the earth and everything that's in it. So when you have all these qualities in you, so what he says, all this earth and everything in this earth can be achieved by you. And which is more? And again what he says, which is more than that, what will happen? You will be a man, my son. So this is the process, this is the progress through which he thinks that his son is going to become a proper man. Then only he will have the knowledge of life, and only then he will be able to be confident, grow in his life and become that man. And right now he is just a boy. But if is a conditional word, and only after a continuous practice he would be able to gain that strength of mind and body, and only then he will be that successful person that his father Rudyard Kipling wants him to be. So it is a series of advices he is giving to his son. And there is something remarkable about this poem he has written in his own autobiography. What Rudyard Kipling is writing is, his autobiography's name is Something of Myself, which was published posthumously after his death in 1937. And he described this poem as, this poem contains counsels of perfection, most easy to give. So it is a counsel of perfection. He's talking about getting perfect in each and everything. And but what he says is, it is most easy to give. So it is also a reference that it is not easy to achieve all these qualities. We will have to work continuously and work hard to attain them. Only then we will be able to achieve them. So what he says again and again, hold on, take effort, strive hard, and try to inculcate all these attributes in yourself. Only then you will be a complete and perfect man. So I think with this I have tried to explain each and everything about this poem. So this poem is about attaining something, achieving something, having that hope, having that strength of mind and body, so that we can grow as a perfect and a better person. So that's it about the poem. Thank you very much.